Hey, what's going on? This is Ugo Opara, real estate agent and investor for Philadelphia area. And today I wanted to do a walkthrough of one of the projects that I finally and my team finished. It's the last project we've done. We have one more that's under construction, and we have one that's like on the back end waiting. But 2017 is a year where I really want to start building a portfolio of the things that I've done as they get done, because what I haven't been doing is documenting the things that I've accomplished. And I think as I try to pull money from private investors or do joint venture deals, without that documented track record, I really don't have anything. I'm really just all talk. So I wanted to start documenting everything that I do, so there is somewhat of a proof that I'm superficial legit and my team is solid when it comes to getting the work done. So one thing that I do want to apologize for is that this one was kind of a situation where the tenants just kind of moved in as soon as it was done. So we really didn't have an open canvas to come in here and get professional pictures and photographers and things of that nature. So as I do the walkthrough, you're going to see personal belongings from the tenants that are coming in here. And we just gonna rock out and roll with it, because that's life. Some things don't always work out. Another thing I want to say is that YouTube sucks. I mean, once I start recording, I can't flip the camera orientation, so I'm kind of stuck in selfie mode, taking you guys around. So I apologize. I mean, this is the best that I can do. I don't know why I can't. If I'm on Facebook Live or Facebook Live has a great platform, because now I can just flip and flop. YouTube is kind of dated, where like once I start recording in one orientation, I'm stuck there. So the property we're in, it's a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, plus an office, which you don't count as a bedroom. Right now we're on a second floor. There's second floor, first floor, and a basement. It has a patio, 2-car garage, a driveway where there's parking for at least maybe another 2 cars, and then there's parking on the sides, the perimeter street parking for like another 10. So tons of parking space, nice little yard. So we're actually going to start off in the master. I'll show you guys the master. So the paint color was picked out by me. It's tough to tell. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the tenant wanted to go with an accent wall, so that's what we did. So this gray on this wall is different from the gray that you see here, which is kind of a lighter gray on the rest of the house. And this one is an interesting thing, because typically what we do is we do ceiling paint up top, but the tenant wanted to come in here and run the paint color all the way through the ceiling, which which you really don't notice, but came out pretty nice. The floors were already done, so I didn't have to touch them. It's a very big room. As I walk around and talk, you can hear the echo in my voice. I don't know how this is turning out for you guys. I'll do it this way. So there's that. This is bedroom number 1. And then we're going to take a look at the bathroom. And the bathroom is probably one of my favorite ones. It was a big mistake. We painted it a color. We painted it a certain color to kind of match you can't really see it now because we repainted it, but we had an original paint color that actually turned out to be horrible. And we had to come back in here and repaint it. But luckily, we picked the right color this time, and we're going to keep rolling with it. This has now become my color of choice, so when I go forth and I do my flips and rentals, the bathrooms are always going to get the same treatment. This is going to be pretty much the template for the bathrooms. We're not going to deviate from this too much. Only time we're going to deviate is if we're doing something fancy, adding a backsplash. It's going to be a play off the gray. There was a new article that came out about how certain trends are going to be leaving. Certain trends that were hip in 2016 are not going to be hip in 2017, and one of the classifications was that the gray palette as a paint color was going to be gone. I'm going to show this bathroom and let you guys be the deciding factor on that. I have no idea who the hell thinks gray is going to be gone, because this bathroom looks phenomenal. And the color gray that I picked, which is moth gray, really makes the bathroom feel a lot bigger and comes off a lot brighter than it actually is. So I don't think this gray is going to go anywhere. If anything, I think going a shade lighter, or instead of doing one color coat throughout an entire house, I think doing accent walls, which is what we did in here, and playing with the paint ceiling color and just kind of being different places and trying different rooms, so you're not, the whole house doesn't look like one palette, is what's going to be what has to be done now, as opposed to maybe just painting the whole house one shade of color. So let me show you guys the bathroom, and this is the bathroom for upstairs. Again, tenants have already come in and added their twist to it. I love this curtain because it matches very nicely with the vanity. Oh man. So this is the bathroom. And the bathtub looks great, but this was actually restored. So what we did is we came in and we repainted the whole bathtub. There were chinks in here from people who were dropping stuff in here. We redid the caulk. We went with the invisible one just because it looks better. You can barely see that it's there, but it came out really well. And this is it. We always run the tile all the way up to the ceiling. We always do the capping here just because it looks a little bit more professional. Some people just kind of stop there. We run the cap there and go all the way. So that's the bathroom. The bathtub. This is all from Home Depot. Really like how this came out. I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know how this color, this oak, would match with the tan. Because the bathroom is tan, right? So I didn't know how that was going to end up matching with this. But you barely notice it. Once the shower curtain is up, once the shower curtain is up, you barely notice it, and this kind of stands out well. And the tenants already bought something that kind of complements the oak, so now everything looks great. This we picked up from Home Depot. There's a little bit of an imperfection here, which I didn't really want to go back and correct when we ordered this. There's too big of a gap here. I'll show you guys. There's too big of a gap here that's noticeable, and I really don't like that, but I don't want to go back to Home Depot and say give me a replacement and blase, but I really like how this came out. It looks great. But overall, the bathroom, I think, just came out really well. Just came out really well. Nothing fancy. We had a lot of people like to run the tile all around the wall. That's a huge waste. No one gives a crap about that. And I know because I've sold houses with it and without it, and the appraiser doesn't give a crap. So you shouldn't either. And just a clean, tight, fully functional, really nice bathroom. And I think one of the things that I learned is you never want to go cheap on the vanity. The vanity and the mirror are always what's going to set it off. This is actually a 30-inch vanity. I could have got the 24, but because there was so much space here, like there still is so much space, it would have been idiotic to get a tinier vanity than the 30-inch. In fact, what I could have done is I could have got a his and hers in here and really went for maybe a 60-inch vanity, medicine cabinet or something like that, and got the maybe a 60-inch vanity, a 60-inch mirror, which means you get double the size of this, and that way it takes up this space and comes over here a little bit. It takes up the space over here, comes over here a little bit, and then the medicine cabinet would run from here and then go all the way over there, just to kind of eat up some of this white space. But I think the gray color looks really nice. Again, I have no idea who thinks it's going to go away. I think it looks phenomenal in here. Keeps the place bright, but then adds character at the same time. So from there we have an attic or an office space. And again, this is the a shade of gray that I picked out, and the whole attic got painted with the shade of gray. We got the white trim, the white door, and then we did the ceiling paint on this wall. Even though it kind I wasn't too sure because it's sloping, it goes all the way down. Some people were saying we should paint it gray, but then I was like, well, just run it white because it does roll all the way up and become the ceiling. So that's what we did there. It's a really decent size space, I believe. And I think the paint color came out really well. So that's the attic. Now we're going to go into bedroom number 2. This is the second bedroom up here. This is one of the first rooms we finished up, and I really am a big fan of how it turned out. Again, I do want to apologize. There's personal belongings in here, but let me show you guys what it looks like. Then it has really nice closets. The closets are decent sized. You know, you can see you're fitting the bed in here. So. Love the floors, and I love the way the paint color came out. That gray is really nice with the accent white, the white trims, the white outlets, white faceplate for the heater vents. I mean, I think it just came out really, really nice. Don't know that I would put pink curtains in here, but I guess, you know, one of the kids are going to be in here, so it is what it is. But one of my favorite rooms was that one. Then we're going to go downstairs, show you guys what we did down there. We'll talk about a big regret of mine right now. So first floor, you know, so there's tons of lighting here on the hallway, and if you look down the staircase, there's tons of lighting down there, but as you transition from upstairs to downstairs, there's no lighting, and I regret not putting some type of lighting there while we were doing the renovations, and I didn't think about it until everything was all, you know, plastered up and drywalled up and painted and, you know, the edges cut, so you know, it gets a little bit more expensive to go back and redo those things. So I forewent those things. So we're gonna check out the living room first, which is huge. Again, personal belongings of tenant. Well, this house was older, and they didn't have the lights that we put in. We put in all new recessed lights. We put in 6 canisters, kind of ran them down. I'm a big fan of having ample lighting and over an abundance of lighting. So that's what we did here. So these were not here while we had to redo the lighting. So the lighting is new. We cut the holes and everything like that. And then this is kind of like what we have now, and I think it looks phenomenal. It's spacious, tons of space. The color came out well. Not a big fan of the wood panel back there, but everything still worked out really well. And this is a huge living room. All painted, all trimmed out, all cut up. And then that door back there, that door actually leads, not over there, that door over there, it actually leads to an enclosed patio. I'm not going to show it because we really didn't do any work to it. I told the tenant that, you know, we're not going to do any renovations in there because what we're charging the person for rent, really we're not going to make any money for the first year. So there's really not enough room to go and do all these extra things because she's getting a really good deal at this property. You know, rent for the tenant is going to be around $222. The market is really saying it should be $2.5. You know what I mean? So just that. We have a little corridor area, the hallway area. That's the front door right there, closet, and then that leads us into the dining room. And the dining room looks really nice. So one of the things I wanted to point out real quick is there is an accent wall coming down starting all the way down from the top of the hallway and coming all the way down. It wraps around, all the way around to where this door is right here. It stops, and then we start with the different shade of paint over here. So let me see if I can back up and show you guys in one angle. Yeah, there you go. So you kind of get to see that little accent. So this wall goes all the way up, goes around, goes around, runs up the stairways, and then, you know, the white paint comes across, the lighter gray, not the white paint, comes right there and starts to take over. It runs on the upper side of this wall, runs all the way through there, and then the accent wall kind of comes back again on this side. And one of the things I really like is the detail that we did here, where we got it into in between everything, and it really makes the accent wall stand out. A lot of people would have just made the in between white because it would have been easier to paint, but I painfully forced my guys to go in between it just so it adds that little bit of character and really makes the, you know, really puts emphasis on the fact that this is an accent wall. Accent wall goes all the way through. You know, again, it stops here. You start with the gray, goes all the way through the rest of the house, comes back around, and you know, we're moving again. So one of the things that I'm not happy about is this door. We couldn't get the color that we wanted, and that's just it. Here's the dining room. One of the things we did again with the accent wall. We have the light gray at the top, white trim, and then the dark gray on the bottom, and then we finished up with the white trim. So this is a tough room to show because there's, you know, is already furniture and everything in here, sort of, kind of. But you can kind of look at the paint color and kind of roll that way. Really big fan of the curtains they picked out. It matches perfectly with the paint palettes that we, you know, with the accents that we did. And the place just ends up looking really nice. One thing I do want to brag about is the sconces that we picked out. This, you know, I had to turn it off because you won't see it in the light, or maybe can you? So this is a sconce that we picked out. I love it. It's really, really modern, and as far as the gray that we're going, it just blended in really well.